In today's cyber world, the wolves are attacking. Is your company safe? HP Enterprise printers are built to help keep your company protected with layers of security that can stop the wolves in their tracks. Upgrade to HP Enterprise printers and keep the wolves out of your neck of the woods. Nothing is safe if your office isn't HP secure. HP Business Printing, the world's most secure printers. See the wolf and HP in action. Visit hp.com/the wolf.
Welcome this morning. And what an awesome opportunity to come in and share with the group of esteemed women who are continuing to grow forth in Goddess and come and join us every Sunday morning for Rebirth Sunday. My intention is that we will continue to grow our toolbox, our watershed moments, be inspired and nourish ourselves on this journey on our own terms. Rebirth what Sunday looks like for you, in not based on the past, and not based on any other thing other than your growth and your development and your being able to fill your cup. I know that many of you pour out in many ways during the week. So here we are together on this Sunday. I am much more present in my body and absolutely full, ready to pour into the fertile ground that is you, my beloved sisters. And we had a powerful word last week from Reverend Cynthia Bond. Will the real you please stand up? That was just so good in terms of a rise up theme and call. And so we're still enjoying, those of us who actually came, that word. I felt the release. I heard the release that happened on the call. And so today I want to come to you to ask you, and now what? After the resurrection, now what? Because even if you have evolved and you don't run and go get a new outfit for Easter to go to a Sunday service that's where the parking lot is full and they have to have cones out to direct the traffic, or you may be down south, if you can remember, they have to put out the extra chairs. Do y'all remember that? Where they had to put extra chairs on the end of the long rows in the good old church. But before I get started, let me stay with my ritual and check in on the sound to make sure that you, my love, can hear me clearly, because I'm actually releasing this word in obedience today. Can you hear me? I just took 301-675 off of mute.
Yes, we hear you clearly.
Thank you. I'm going to leave you off just in case something happens, so that they can still hear you. All right. And so after the resurrection, after your resurrection, you know, the resurrection is he woke up, he got up. That's the story. And so you have evolved on this journey now to understand that somehow you personalize anything now that's in the Bible. You've been studying long enough to understand this. And now here we are. You woke up. You had to wake up somewhere on your journey. Something woke you up. It may have been the pain in your life. It may have been the discomfort of living out of authenticity, or just in survival mode, or it just may be a delicious divine call for you to expand, explore, and level up. It could be just that. Some of you are beyond just the place of pain, but yet expansion sometimes can feel like pain, being called into to level up and to let go. Because I remember when I have been in places where I could have just stayed. I could have continued to translate. I could have continued to do it a certain way and thrive well for all intents and purposes. But there was something in my soul that was calling me forward. And so this is where I want to look at this message and the breadcrumbs that Jesus left, because Jesus did not stop after he rose, and there were other events that happened. And sometimes it seems like when you're on that Christian journey and you have that true Christian love, the story stops at the resurrection. But there were many things that began to happen after the resurrection, and so we oftentimes get recycled right back to the beginning of the do good theology, and then we leave off after you've done all your good and you've had your transformation and you've awakened now, and you know some things and you've shedded some things already, and you are doing your work, sisters. You awakened, and now what? Now what? Now what? Now what? And so some people will take the resurrection story very literally, but you all are coming into the hemisphere of someone who is a metaphysician. And so I want to offer you a metaphysical reframe, if you will, because there were many things that began to happen after Jesus rose, and so now we're no longer talking about the man. We're no longer focusing on the man, but the entire religion and many religions focus on worshiping the man. And so we keep on having human problems. We keep on staying at the human level. We keep on limiting ourselves for the human experience. But there's a message beyond man, the man Jesus, the man, the woman, you. There's a message beyond that. And it begins to look like miracles. There were other miracles that began to happen. In fact, some of the other disciples, they don't talk. The story ends at resurrection, but then Mark and Matthew, they go on and they start to talk a little bit more about what began to happen in this journey. And all I found on the breadcrumbs is more miracles began to happen. And people were even having supernatural experiences. They said that the disciples were locked away in a room because the truth of the matter, their humanity was in fear. Their humanity had walked the journey with Jesus. But then look here now, that Jesus, according to the story, and I do say the story that has been watered down and taken out of context, and we have a mythos around the resurrection, and so here now the disciples go and they lock themselves away because they're thinking, just like on the streets, I'm next. You know, on the streets, if your boy or your girl get hit, if you come from that life, maybe you all don't know, you can just live vicariously through television or gangster movies, but basically, you know that if something happens to one of your crew, then you're next. And you know now, you can look at your life and you can see sometimes that there's situations where you know you've been out there. You've been doing your thing. And then one of your homegirls may have gotten pregnant, and then you decided, ooh, I better come in a little bit. Or maybe you was dealing with a married man, and then somebody told you about what happened when all hell broke loose, and then you say, okay, I got to clean up my life. Because some people only have a relationship with Jesus based on him being the cleanup woman, being the cleanup man. I need Jesus to come and clean up whatever it is that I've been doing out there. And so it's easy to look at what happened to somebody else and still say, ooh, I could be next. Let me get my life right. And so basically, the disciples were having what's a proverbial come to Jesus moment where they were locked away. And then Jesus goes on to perform some of the miracles that are documented. And then there was this whole thing about Jesus just going away. You can go back and study some of the miracles on your own time, because I really don't want to focus on that, because you can go. But what I noticed is that there were miracles that were starting to be performed. And so here now, there's also a place where Jesus goes away. In fact, he says in the word, it's expedient for you that I go away. I wonder if Jesus was recognizing that people were starting to attach to that man Jesus, but he was no longer the man. Something had happened for him. And so what happens, and I can only talk about this based on the experience that I had, the shamanic journey that I took last week, in that I understand that there is something called ego dissolution. There's a place where there's something that shifts in you, where you understand that there's more happening around you than just you, than just your human challenges and your human problems. And this is called the ascension. So what I propose to you today is that, let me give it to you in this order, is that when we look at the resurrection, after the resurrection, the first point I want to just drop in your ear gate is that the story does not end. After you wake up, sisters, the story does not end. Your wake up requires that you do some things. There may be some rituals. There may only be certain people that can witness you, because after Jesus rose again, there was a whole new story that was about to begin. And that's why you can look at it and they'll date time before Christ. and after Christ. And you can go on, and then the same thing with Muhammad, and the same thing with Buddha, and all of the quote-unquote ascended masters. Nobody really understands how it is that they died, so to speak. And so I ask you today, my love, who said your story was over, because you got next. After you wake up, your story does not end. So the second premise that I want to say to you is, after the wake up, you got next on the miracle. You're next in line for your miracle, but you have to have a miracle working consciousness. In other words, you have to wake up expecting that miracles are the normal and not the exception. Yes, I'm talking about the marriage, the health condition, the money, any situation, looking at what is possible versus what is impossible. So often we put timelines on what it is that we envision and that we dream to manifest based off of what we have in our bank account or what capacity that we have now. But when you start to deal with vision and nourishing your vision and nourishing your personal development, you have to look at what it is you desire, not worry about the how sometimes. And that may require for you to make a sudden move. And because God really, the God of the awakened, the God after the resurrection really is about the suddenly. I love Joyce Meyer long ago talked about the suddenly of God. And it changed my life because I remembered I attached it to a metaphysical experience that I had in the room with the online, some of the folks on the team. And one of the sisters, my reverend sister, said, any moment can be the moment. Any moment can be the moment. And you, even when you ascend, there is more travel. And so once again, when Jesus started, after he started to perform just a few miracles here or there that's documented, there are a few testaments. Remember, it was only Mark and Matthew that even wrote anything. And now we start to get into other people's version of your story. But what about you, when women in particular, you create the legacy where your story is no longer hidden. See, to me, Jesus' journey is hidden in plain sight, and that takes us right into introducing the law of vibration, because we didn't get a chance to do it last week, even though last week was the first Sunday. What we have to understand is that the law of vibration is one of the most powerful ones, because everybody wants to focus on the law of attraction, but in order for you to attract something, you've got to raise your vibration. A lot of times what we desire really is already ours, but we haven't caught up to it yet. I'll say that again. A lot of the things that we desire, we haven't caught up to it yet. Either our work has not caught up to it, our work has not caught up to it, and our value of who we really are just has not caught up to it yet. And the law of vibration comes to say that everything is always moving. There is nothing that is still. A vibration basically is saying that we are energetic beings constantly in motion, in movement, in vibration. The desk, the chair, the animal, everything has a vibration. And that's how come you can go out of a house. You can leave a house, quote unquote, abandoned. And if there's not been any movement in that house, if the living organisms have not given energy to living organisms, it starts to take on another form. It may look like the house is dying and decaying, but honey, have you ever seen something that's been refurbished? When you start to go in and you start to put some energy back into it, have you ever had a house plant that looks like it's dying? Or it just looks wilted, and you start to talk to it. Oh, that's a principle right there. Because many of us, we talk about our problems, we talk about our issues, but we don't talk to it. We don't talk to it. We will not talk to it the way we will talk to a lover. We will not speak our expectations of the thing that's possible the way that we will speak about the things that's limited. And so anyway, you go to this house plant and you start to tell this house plant how beautiful it is. You start to give it some water. You may even start to put some vitamins and minerals and some other little geechy things into your soil. Oh, that's kind of like you growing forth in Goddess. I call Good Girls Gone Goddess a garden. It really is a garden because based off of what you do, you are going to grow your crops or you are going to have to pull up your weeds. Come on now. And so basically, it is saying that motion, this is talking about motion. Motion is manifested in everything in the universe. Everything moves, vibrates, and circles. I want you to hear that word, circles. Because even when we start to look at us who have been on this journey, after a while, when you're willing to let go of old belief systems, the old church religion, the old this, the old that, and you start to become more courageous in your communication without a middleman. You start to begin to ritual and practice some of these things that you hear talked about. Then there's something that begins to happen and wait a minute, I could see this principle inside of that thing there. And now you become a translator, but it's born through experience. You have to move something. Basically, the law of vibration says that nothing is at rest. Nothing is at rest. It is everything is in constant movement and vibration, but the difference between the various manifestations of the universal power are entirely varying to the rate and mode of vibration. In other words, sometimes there are thoughts, there are words, there are sounds, there are food, our diet, there are interactions with other people that can lower our vibration. And sometimes you can live in a place that lowers your vibration, and you think you're doing something wrong, but you're just not in the right environment that raises your vibration. And this is why your girl over here teaches pleasure. You know me, the LaTanya Taylor, the Rev Coach, the Juicy Spirit Mama, as y'all have named me. Some of y'all call me the Juicy Sensei. It's pleasure. Pleasure is another way to raise your vibration. But look at how resistant not you who's still resisting, but check this out for any of those who was a little resistant to your pleasure. Look at where you are now when you began to open yourself up to pleasure beyond the way that you have known it, because it helps you to get in a state of mind to receive the next level of sacred information. Oh, yeah, I said sacred information. Because if you're shut down in your sexuality, you're shut down in your money and your career, and you're shut down in your relationships. I don't even have to ask you about it. As the kids say, no debate necessary. We're not debating here. And so this is why feeling good is important for the woman. And the woman has been on such a journey of martyrism and survival and becoming like little men in this world, because the patriarchy has defined womanhood. But then I'll start getting on another text. There's a certain point, even in the ascension, where you are no longer you're no longer gender. And we'll talk about that as we get into the law of gender. You know, there's the universal law of gender. We really get tripped out on this man-woman game. And so many of you still are defining relationships based on, well, the woman is supposed to do this and the man is supposed to do this. But those of you who have been in this walk, you have started to understand where your divine feminine and your divine masculine energy may be. And so the thing is it working together? Because some of us, based off our birth chart, are going to have certain conflicts even in our design. And those conflicts are part of our own initiation. That's the real only true religion that helps us to begin to raise our vibration beyond being saved. Oh, come on now. Some of you are still looking for somebody to save you, something to save you, a shortcut. Or I don't want to go through it. I want to go around it. I want to go under it. I want to go over it. But I don't want to go through it. But see, through it is the vortex of ascension. Jesus basically went through a vortex and looked to the human eye as one way. And there are times when our life will feel like and look like we are being crucified. But he was giving hints even on the cross. He was speaking his ascension right there, even before he said, I commit into thy hands, I commit my spirit. Huh? Come on now. He was giving the whole crucifixion journey is about the ascension. And so when in the resurrection, yes, you're going to have many awakenings. You're going to have many opportunities where the stone is being moved from your consciousness. That represents the pineal gland. When the pineal gland becomes calcified, information cannot get into you because the depression is more real to you than deliciousness and divinity. Come on now. And so when the pineal gland is calcified, it feels like you're fighting with everything, including your own rebirth, your own ability to emerge transformed, your own ability to raise your vibration. And so modern science talks about the law of vibration in terms of quantum physics. And so scientists now, they used to discount and blow it off as hocus pocus nonsense. But they understood that when scientists, the noun, the man, was studying certain subjects, because of his or her vibration, they were already influencing the outcome of whatever the specimen was. Come on now. That could preach a whole different sermon on a whole different day, or maybe even a series. But check this out. You are the scientist. You are in your own laboratory, and you are observing the specimens in your life. And if your vibration has not raised to the level of understanding how you are one, if you the other laws that we've already built upon to get here to say, okay, wait a minute, maybe I need to go and have a little dance break. Maybe I need to go and get in the mirror and say some affirmations. Or maybe I need to go sit on the earth. Oh, maybe I need to get on the phone with my coach, my elder, my counselor, or go to my altar. Oh, come on now. You know, there's a lot of options we have to raise our vibration. I want to take it off of the table for those of you who have been isolating and shutting down and talking that stuff about how you going to I'm going to figure it out. Y'all know I'm famous for saying we need to learn how to figure it in instead of figuring it out. Many of us have put ourselves on the outside of the ability to be divine and to ascend into this place because a lot of what Jesus was teaching is so beyond the literal. It's so beyond, this is why there is Jesus, the man, and then there's Christ consciousness. And sometimes people try to put them together because they need to do that. But there's a separation that happens where you're no longer the body. And only somebody that's been at the bedside of somebody that's leaving the body can really fully understand the ascension process, the signs and the wonders. And so you don't have to wait, though. You don't have to wait until you are on your sick bed or you're near death. You don't have to wait. You can choose it. So what's next if your story is not over? You got next. You are next in line for a miracle. Any moment can be the moment for you to continue to ascend. And it's an invitation. The universe is always inviting you to raise your vibration as long as you are living on earth and in this body. We keep on doing whatever it takes to raise our vibration, and we move from understanding into inner standing. See, when you're no longer standing under and you don't have to stand over, you can just stand within. That's inner standing. Understanding is the fertile ground for the ego to begin to dissolve. And the fight that you used to fight, and the worry and the comparison and the competition and the looking at what other people are doing to measure what you should be doing, it somehow begins to fall away because you know what's an illusion and you know what's real. And most of everything is an illusion that we are affecting and creating. We are creating it, y'all. We are creating it. That's why you are so powerful. We are so powerful as the womb mother. Because when we continue to have the rebirth and emerge transformed experience by choice and not by force, when we continue to activate our DNA, when we continue to stay on the path, we give new meaning to the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. See, there's that whole, I'm going to have to teach that another day because that whole 23rd Psalm is a metaphysical communication and prayer. I speak life into those who are on the other side of resurrection. You are awakened now. Your story is not over. And so now you get to ask Spirit, where do I go from here? What is next for me? Don't stop, because then you're setting yourself to start all over again. And when you start to pretend like you didn't hear and you didn't know, the tests come in twice as challenging, because after knowing is responsibility. You are responsible, meaning you are responsible, not as a burden, but you are responsible able now to respond to your life. And if you have forgotten, you get the support you need. And I had learned on the shamanic journey, because Jesus was a shaman, an esoteric, trained in the mystery school. You think it's an accident that he went away for he didn't emerge back until he was 33. What was happening for him? He had to go away even before he came forward. He had to be prepared even before he even made known what his powers are. But many of us don't want to do the preparation process. And as your ego starts to dissolve, you have less tolerance for bullshit and nonsense. And so you do not interact on the same level as your contemporaries and your peers, even though you may love them. You hang in the company of other shamans, because when you get ready to travel on another journey, another phase of your life, you must have fire keepers and watchers and spiritual escorts. And it's a beautiful journey. Oh, I get so excited. I've just been saying when I've been talking, ooh, ooh, ooh. I didn't know it would be this good. But in the words of Maya Angelou, who just celebrated her birthday, I wouldn't take nothing for my journey now. So I'm taking the line off of mute, and I'm inviting all of you to join in. If there was something that you heard, very often we have, we're rebirthing Sunday, of I just go to get a word. Your divinity and who you are can give a word based off of what you heard today, what moved in you. And you can co-preach this thing, co-teach, whatever you want to call it. Co-facilitate is what I call it, co-host in this space. I invite you all to this space, this fertile ground. You can even speak desires, or you can sing a song. There's no limit in your expression. Just come forward. Who has something to share? I think the lines are off mute now. Is there anyone that had a belly jump or anything that you heard this morning?
I'm so sorry that I missed the beginning. Can you guys hear me? Good morning.
I can hear you. Good morning.
Oh, good. Good. I came in on you are responsible. I heard a little bit before that, but and asked a question, and that just resonated with me because that's where I am. That's the space and the process that I am in, to continue asking the questions, to continue going forward. And I had an opportunity to speak to one of my sisters on this journey with me, who's actually going to come and join me here in New Orleans, which I'm super excited about. But she shared with me one of the rituals or things that she had done to manifest through the womb. And when I tell you, I heard you talk about the womb so many times and how magical and, and how powerful and just what we have our hands on, how we just don't know. And this process is just gigantic. Like, I can't even put it into words, how it continues to unfold, how it continues to blossom, to come here, to hear the word, and it just confirms it all over again. And so I used it in Honey Child. Like the old folks used to say, things started changing and moving, and I'm so grateful. So I just wanted to drop that in this space this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your teaching. Thank you.
Give thanks. Thanks so much for sharing and saying that. Anyone else?
Good morning. This is Sandy.
Good morning.
I just want to thank you. You're like my mother, my teacher, my everything, and I just thank you for everything and how you help us, all of us women who want the help. Everything you said radiated with me today. I mean, with all that I'm going through with this sickness and different things with my husband and my granddaughter, it just, everything you said just radiate with me to let me know that I am on the right journey and I'm going to continue. I just want to thank you, and thank you all,
you.
Sisters.
I honor you.
I honor you too.
Anyone else? Anyone else?
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. This is Janae. How you doing, everybody? I just wanted to say that, of course, everything you said resonates because partly it is the journey I'm on right now with being unemployed and having to really just trust and believe that everything is unfolding the way it should be. And I know that in other times in my life I probably would have been stressed or worried, but I'm not. and because I'm not, things are unfolding and coming to me. And the one thing that you said that really jumped was when you were talking about speaking life into it. And I remember on another Sunday call a while ago, you had said something about doing that. And when I get in my prayer closet and just speak life over things and into things, and then I now see how things are just changing, especially when I've done it for my son and just over my situation, I see it happening, and it's just, it is a miracle and things are manifesting. So I'm in that journey right now, and I'm just grateful that have been able to receive tools and receive rituals to support me. So I give thanks this morning.
Shay, I know that's right. Call it forth, sis. Call it forth. That's right. Call the miracle forth, and it looks like it comes out of nowhere, and then after a certain while, it'll start to become such a normal. And it doesn't mean that you won't have fear when it's time to leap, to take a jump, when it's time for you to do the next thing. You know, ladies, a lot of times we look at trying to maintain, but sometimes it's when you say, you know, I'm ready to let certain things go. You know, talking to a sister friend the other day, and for the most part, she presents and shares and gives so much to everybody. Another day, she was like, I'm ready to walk away from this mortgage. I just want to go live near the beach. I just don't want to be weighed down with any worries. Then I can just go do this, and this. And so, I said to her, well, you don't need pain to do that. Just do that. But then what happens is we talk ourselves out of the leap. We talk ourselves out of the big leap towards, and sometimes it's hidden in plain sight, and we start to think that we need to do it like we see somebody else doing it, and not understand that you have a gift. Some of you have a gift right where you are. The biggest thing that and I don't know why this is coming up. This is not just for you, Jeanette. It's for anybody who this applies to. A lot of times we want to leave the job instead of being who it is that we are right where we are on the job. See, if you're a barista at Starbucks, if you are a healer, you can show up as a healing barista at Starbucks and make connections that will lead you to your healing center, your retreat, whatever. But a lot of times we bless where we are right now. We curse where we are right now as though it's not enough. I can't wait to get off of this job. But are you showing up 100% in who you are? Or are you telling the story, I can't do that here? See, then you're not ready to let it go. You're not ready to take the leap. Because the leap sometimes is right where you are. If I can show up as a healer, if I can show up as a teacher, as I can show up as a herbalist or energy worker, right where I am, I'm no longer worried about what somebody else is defining me. I'm no longer bifurcated and split up. No. I am calling all of the pieces of myself back to myself because they are divine and glorious. I don't have to wait until I have to have the healing center to be an entrepreneur. I don't have to wait until I have the husband to say that I am a wife. I don't have to wait until a baby comes out of my womb to declare that I am a mother. Every woman is a mother. Every woman ought to walk in it. When your children are grown, you still are a mother. When you have had no children, you still are a mother. You are what you say you are. And the limits that you have put on yourself because of where you are right now, you can move. You're not a tree. Unplant yourself.
Yes.
You don't like the city you're in, the neighborhood you're in, the house you're in, you can move. But then now that will require you to access some other skills. It may require you to do a little study. It may require you to take a little leap. You know how many six-figure chicks are unhappy? You know how many millionaire women are miserable millionaires? How many people are trapped that you compare yourself to, that you want to try to duplicate what they're doing? What has God put in you that needs to be released? That is where our prosperity is.
Yes.
That is where our healing is. To be able to look a doctor in the face that told you this or that and say, I bind that in whatever name you want to bind it in.
All right.
That does not apply to me. I know that's what you study. Because you are practicing medicine. You are not the medicine. They tell you. It's hidden in plain sight. They're practicing. They're practicing medicine.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
But you're not going to practice on me. I'm going to tap into the medicine. I'm going to become the medicine.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Let me hush now, y'all. Anybody else before we go into prayer? Is there anybody else in here? Because I'm hot all over.
That was
so powerful. Yes.
That next part, let's say it again. Oh, my gosh.
Anybody else? Anybody else?
I was seeking.
All right now.
For things that could not satisfy.
All right.
Come on now.
And then I heard my Savior speaking. Draw from my well that never shall run dry. Fill my cup, Lord.
Yeah. That's my word right there.
Lord, I lift it up.
Yeah.
Come and quench this thirsting in my soul.
Yes.
Bread of heaven.
Till I want no more.
All right now. Glory.
Fill my cup. Fill it up.
Yes.
Never let it run dry.
Never.
Ooh, yeah.
Thank you this morning, ladies.
Sister.
That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is Kathy. I wish I would have come in early. I came in, Latanya, when you were talking about not speaking to your situation the way you would to a plant. I was like, oh my God.
Oh no.
I'm telling you, it never fails when I get on here. I get my cup filled up just like I needed to be in here, just what I need to hear for whatever situation is going on. And I really got excited when you started talking about how we can raise our vibration. You know, first you were talking about how a lot of us have been in situations where we were around the wrong people that didn't allow us to raise our vibration, but then having the ability to raise our vibration and change our circumstances. And I just want to testify because I've been connected to people for more than I care to remember that didn't allow me to vibrate and elevate. But, you know, I got a hold of this process, and I turn on my vibration so quick because you can vibrate to a place and speak from that place where the things that can't level up with you, they can't match you. They can't stay there. It doesn't frustrate me the same way. I just channel up on them, and they can't even communicate with me at that place, so they have to leave on their own accord. They have to go. They can't even hang out in the playground that I create for myself. So I testify to this process here. It is just that juicy. Yes,
it is. Yes, it is. Thank you. Thank you so much. That song is as such a perfect it's such a perfect statement of Juicy Spirit too. You know, my well that never runs dry. And if it runs dry, it's just because I haven't gone deep enough. Lord, have mercy.
All right.
Yes.
So this is a good segue of fertile ground, fertile energy. Thank you so much for your beautiful voice. I who knew all of that was in there? That needs to come out some more, my sister. I'm just saying, that is what? You've been holding out on us. So I just, there's a harmony inside of all of us, though, and we're going to find us a song. We're going to have a Good Girls Gone Goddess live experience, and we're going to have a Sunday morning experience together. So
all right.
That being said, if we can just clear our laps and make space for prayer, if you can just bring into mind those ancestors that we adore, that walk with us, talk with us, whisper to us, and are our guardians. Some, they know our name, and some they may have prayed for us, or they just may have sang a song for us. Speak their names into this space. Josie B. Taylor, Priscilla Nash,
Sarah Brown,
Sarah Bolden,
Victoria Goodwin,
Minnie Ellis,
Alexander English,
Della Tankerman, Queen Mother,
Aunt Eddie Mae, Aunt Trudy,
Ashe, keep them coming. Ashe,
Lamar Hendricks,
Anna,
Ashe,
Grady Saddles,
Father Hunter, Nicole,
Ashe. Oh, yeah.
Jackie.
Listen at them. Listen at your daughters. Listen at your sisters. Listen at the mothers, calling the mothers. Mother, Father, God, Holy Spirit, all that is. We know that the song that we're singing with your name this morning does not fall on any deaf ears, for we know through the law of vibration that energy never just dies. It is always moving. And we thank you for the ancestral presence of those who are moving around us, sometimes doing more for us in a higher realm than being on this earth plane. We thank you right here, right now, for knowing we never walk alone for this journey. Even sometimes we want to. We think we have to go if we have to go by ourselves, and sometimes that is the nudge that we need. But the truth is we're never walking alone. And so we thank you for supernatural assistance in all of our affairs, for supernatural doors opening up, because we are accepting the call to become and to maintain, beyond maintain, to ascend into being supernatural women, whatever that is requiring. We thank you, Holy Spirit, that supernatural women still have fun. Still supernatural women know how to dance for a purpose. Supernatural women know how to use their mouth. The supernatural women know how to take a leap of faith and sometimes a jump for joy, even when it looks like there's no reason. We thank you for those women today who have said yes to their journey. We thank you that it's not an accident, that it's a soul call. And we thank you for those who have said yes to the call after the resurrection, after the awakening. Yeah, we want to stay woke, but we don't want to just stay woke to just realize other people who are woke. We want to stay woke and do something with it. Help us, Holy Spirit, that if you gave us the purpose, if you gave us the vision, that you will give us the provision. I ask for provision for myself and my sisters today. Provision in the area that we need support and assistance. Provision in the way of real money. Yeah, good investments, pressed down, shaken up, and running over. We thank you for the seed money to go into the vision that we have, and that the formula to manifest what it is that we have need of and desire of. We ask you to Holy Spirit, in us, through us, and around us, that we continue to speak to the Holy I Am, so that the Holy I Am can raise us up, that align us with the truth of what already is, that there's nothing new under the planet. So therefore, my ancestors that sat in the royal court, so will I. I thank you, Holy Spirit, for those who had no want or need for anything, that they were able to walk and talk with the animals, that they were able to travel in and out of their body. And people think that the pyramids are a wonder. We thank you for even those who have spiritual gifts of psychic abilities and abilities to see, to feel, to know. We ask that you amplify each and every woman on this call and each and every woman who is connected to their own rebirth by choice and not by force. And even those who have had to have it by force, we ask for the power and the spirit of self-forgiveness and humility, that the ego will not stand in the way and make us believe an untruth, that the ego will have served its purpose and that we have put the ego on notice. And so we thank you that we invite the presence of the Holy I Am to raise us up right here, right now, today, to vibrate higher, to be one and mindful with the law of vibration. And so we thank you, Holy Spirit, Holy I Am, all that is good for our wholeness, all that is abundant for our wholeness, all that is prosperous for our wholeness. We let it be so, and so it is. Now let the words that I have sent forth not return to me void. Let them accomplish that which I have spoken them to do. And I, my sisters, touch and agree, saying yes and ashe.
Yes.
All right, beautiful spirits, thank you for joining me. Spread the word about Rebirth Sunday. Invite people to the call. We're in springtime. This is good time. The rites of passage process is now open. It is open to those of you who have never experienced it. If you'd like to join it, send me an inbox. We can set up an interview. I will accept you as a referral from me. All right, now, I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Ciao, everyone.
Love you, too. Yeah, love you.
In today's cyber world, the wolves are attacking. Is your company safe? HP Enterprise printers are built to help keep your company protected with layers of security that can stop the wolves in their tracks. Upgrade to HP Enterprise printers and keep the wolves out of your neck of the woods. Nothing is safe if your office isn't HP secure. HP Business Printing, the world's most secure printers. See the wolf and HP in action. Visit hp.com/thewolf.